So I think it's really nice that you've set yourself 2 lakh rupees target. So let's break this down further. So I think so one is obviously you guys are planning some events, and I'm sure you'll figure out how much to charge for the events, how to do the publicity and all of that, and that's totally cool. The second part is the crowdfunding campaign, right? So let's sort of walk through the process of crowdfunding. For a start, have you guys thought of which platform to use?
We were going through the platforms yesterday, and I think we're kind of in between Milap and one more thing. I forgot the other one, but Milap is the front runner right now.
We were looking at quite a few of them, but yeah, Milap is what we're looking at right now.
Is there a specific reason why you chose Milap?
Just thought it had a lot more traffic compared to like other, like we just scroll through the NGOs and read like a lot of online blogs. I think, and Milap, at least what it came across, has a lot of traffic. It's not, maybe not the most, but it had like considerable amount of traffic across the website itself.
Okay, fair enough. And are you guys primarily targeting donations from India, or are you looking at, do you have an option to take money from the US or other countries as well?
Yesterday we were considering this question only, and we're looking at donations primarily from India, but we're open to foreign donations as well.
No, let me just butt in here. So we don't have FCRA. So legal students out there will know, if we don't have FCRA, we cannot receive from abroad.
Right.
Not eligible to receive from abroad.
Right. That's one. Cool. Okay. So I think with that in place, Milap is fine, because the major problem with using Milap is that Milap as a platform is not that well known outside of India. So if you were targeting donations outside India, then probably something like a GoFundMe or Keto or something, which is actually a much more well-known brand in other countries, would have helped you. But I think in India, it doesn't really make that big a difference whether you're using Milap or Keto. The next question is, I haven't used Milap recently, so does Milap also offer you a recurring donations option?
We haven't really checked that yet, and I don't think we're sure about that.
Cool. Just note that down, and you can probably take a look. So that's actually why I think Milap does use it, does offer it, so it's not that big a deal. But otherwise, just keep that in mind, preferably whichever platform you choose. It would be good if you ensure that it has recurring donations.
There's a large group, Akash, who are in the social media group, and there were 19 of them in that group. So your question earlier about how many people are in fundraising, we have 14, but the fundraising, I split them up into sub teams working on separate aspects to come together, hopefully in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So there's so if you start talking about Instagram feedback, Facebook and the other parts of it, I'm sure you will get some more questions and also some answers.
So I think as of now, so it's good that you've thought of a platform. Milap is a very good platform. Otherwise, Keto is something that is widely used. Until and unless you have a specific reason to not use Keto, I suggest you go ahead with that. Or Milap is fine as well. So the next aspect of this is, so it's good that you've thought about one part of this, which is which platform you're going to be using. So with the crowdfunding aspect of it, and how exactly are you guys planning to reach out to people? Here, I think the social media team can also chip in, or anybody else can actually chip in to, tell me what you've thought of till now. It can be anything as simple as, I'll draft a message and send it on my college group and hope people are going to donate. Literally anything that you've thought of, I'd like to hear from you.
We thought, sorry, is anyone else going?
So you can do that also. Some of you, if you are comfortable to send a message on the chat box, please go ahead.
We thought in between every act, we can, sorry.
So yeah, there's something for a chat box. Invite school friends. Harshita's put that down. GS, okay. Roshni and Anushka, you people, where will you chip in to help in terms of people contact?
Sir, I think you froze for me for a second. Could you please repeat?
I'm asking your group, who are working on compiling a list of individuals, or how to approach individuals. Or do you have anything to respond to Akar's question?
Yeah, I think we're just planning to, we're like working on, how we want to target different groups of individuals. Like, I think one suggestion that we got from Sir was also that you should target people based on the different criteria which they give on. So I think that's what we wanted to work on, as well as we were deciding to send out a questionnaire, which we're compiling for different this thing. So the more information we get, the better, the more concrete the assumptions we can make are. So yeah, I think that was the approach we were going for. My teammates can chime in to say if I'm right or not, but yeah, this is like how we're looking at it.
Sure. Can one of you just explain what exactly this criteria is? And also, Harshita, I think events we'll just discuss in the last 5 to 10 minutes. But now we'll just focus on the crowdfunding campaign, because I think Meera actually asked me to come and speak here about the crowdfunding campaign. So I'll stick to that for the next 20 minutes or so. And before wrapping up, last 5 to 7 minutes, I'll just speak about it.
I think the criteria that we were looking at was sort of different age groups. Like certain older people prefer to give more because none of their children are dependent on them anymore, so they tend to give. Even really people who are more inclined towards causes with which have a religious connotation as well, and even during the year, people are more prone to giving you before festivals and this thing because of the sentiment of giving is more. So I think these were the criteria we were looking at in one aspect. So yeah, those are the examples I can think of right now.
Okay, I think that's very fair, and it's a good it's a good start that you've actually thought about classifying the donors into different categories based on what causes they might be passionate about or when they might be passionate about donating. So that's a good start. So the next thing is what cause are you guys exactly trying to raise funds for?
So to come to that, I think we have not specifically told them for what it is. It's basically for the organization to run the organization, but they have not been told that. But still, the specific cause that we are looking at is to build a web platform for the organization, which 2 lakhs will not help with anyway, but that will be the seed money to start that. So we have volunteers out there who want to teach, and we have students out there who want to learn. There's no dearth of beneficiaries. But on the other hand, what is happening is just administration and managing is this whole show is becoming very, very difficult. We have at present around 20 volunteers who are acting as coordinators and doing all the administrative job of connecting the student and the teacher. So that is where we're looking at some kind of a web platform, either building or subscription or whatever, so that we can automate some of the functions that whatever we are doing the administrative.
Okay. So I think the first, so have you guys tried setting up a campaign already on Millap, or have you just thought of? So I think the first thing, Meera ma'am, as well, you should probably do is if we have a target of 2 lakhs, we should probably start off with mapping out why exactly we're going to be using this 2 lakhs or how this fund will be utilized, because that way more donors will be likely to donate. Like, for example, for my organization, we have this program where we encourage people to donate 3,000 rupees a month so that they can sponsor the education of one orphan for 1 year. So that is about 36,000 rupees. So here we have a clear breakdown from the 20 bucks we spend on a pencil pouch all the way up to like 12,000 rupees a month 12,000 rupees a year we pay as the school fees, and about 1,200, which is the branding cost associated for us for whatever Instagram ads or whatever. Not Instagram ads, whatever else we spend money on, our administrative expenses. Everything is clearly mentioned in that. So that kind of builds credibility, and that helps you. That helps the donor also believe the organization a lot more, because a lot of people, because here I'm sure within the BETF network, a lot of people know you and we know the organization, and people would be willing to, but especially these interns, I'm sure, are from different places across India. So so that we can tackle this issue of creating the right connect with the donor, I think the first and foremost thing you need to do is map out how exactly we'll be using this 2 lakh rupees. And ideally, we also in the interest of transparency, usually whatever quotes we have, I mean, whatever amount we quote, we also mention if a donor requests why exactly we chose this specific, why exactly we selected that specific product. We usually take 3 different quotes. Like, for example, when we did our fundraiser for COVID, if we wanted to buy an ICU bed for 26,000, we clearly put all those details in a Google Doc as to why we've selected that specific vendor. We compared at least 3 quotes. Somebody quoted 26,000, somebody quoted 28,000, somebody quoted 29,000 based on their credibility, etc. We chose this bed which would cost us 26,000. So similarly, I'm sure you would have your costs associated. Probably when you say web-based platform, I'm guessing your human resource costs are going to form a significant part of it. So probably explaining to the donors what part of this is actually, I mean, where exactly this will be used will
So where exactly should this information be put up?
On Keto. If you can just make an Excel file and put it as a link on Keto, I think that is, or Millap, whatever crowdfunding platform you're using. If you can just
With the story, this also.
Yes. So I think that way it will help them also pitch better, because I think the first question any donor will ask is, where is my money going, right? If I want to donate right now, the first thing I'll want to know is, am I helping children? I think that is very clear when you said this is a web-based platform for children. So along with the story, if you can sort of explain how exactly the funds will be used, I think that would be very helpful. Right. And the second thing, have any of you tried pitching this to people already? Okay, so I think here, rather than me teaching you how to pitch, which will get really, really monotonous, assume that I'm a donor right now. I'm a high net worth individual. Somehow, Srinivasan sir, let's assume Srinivasan sir Srinivasan sir just put you in touch with me and said, hey, you know what, this guy might donate some amount of money to you. Why don't you pitch? And assume you're on a call with me. And one of you, I think, Sai, you've been the most active. So go for it and try pitching why I should donate to your fundraiser.
Sure. All right. Wait, so you want me to start off like that, just like that?
Yeah, if you want a minute to gather your thoughts.
Yeah, just a minute.
Sure. I'd asked you earlier if you had any ideas. So if you still do, just keep putting it in the chat box. It can be anything as simple as, I'm going to ping each and every person I know on Instagram, or I'm going to send out messages on my WhatsApp group, or I'll ask my college to send out a mail to all the students, whatever it is, even if it's that simple. Or somebody came up with ideas like, I'll go in I'll get my apartment society to send out a mail to everyone within the complex, stuff like that. So whatever it is that you can think of, just start putting it in the chat box. Sai, are you ready?
Hi, my name is Sai, and I'm calling from Asha Infinite Foundation, which is a NGO based out of Bangalore that is dedicated to teaching underprivileged children. Right now, the way I understand it, Asha is functioning by teaching kids who don't have access to the technology that most kids like us do have access to nowadays, like a laptop, like an internet connection. And so they use, and they are restricted to the use of mobile phones for teaching. So which obviously serves as a hindrance. Now, this is why this crowdfunding platform is dedicated to raising funds for the organization, and we want to raise funds to help develop a website which will help make the process of managing administrative duties in the back end easier. And that is where the money is going to go, and that is why we're launching this fundraiser.
I think that was a pretty good start. I think you explained what the cause was and where the funds are going to go. So a couple of observations here, right? First thing is, when you're pitching, especially to somebody, for a crowdfunding campaign, try and avoid third person everywhere. Never refer to the organization in third person. Always, say we are raising funds for, my friends. And so you start off with, hi, I'm a student of JGU. My friends and I are organizing this fundraiser so that we can help with the education of underprivileged children. We are Asha Infinite Foundation, and what we do is, right? So that way, either consciously or subconsciously, it creates an increased feeling of trust, because your donor actually understands that you know what you're speaking about. But what happens when you use third person? When you say, I am I am Sai and I'm working with Asha Infinite Foundation. They are working with underprivileged children. What that clearly shows is that you are not you're not well associated with the cause, or it kind of subconsciously tells the donor that you probably may not know everything about the cause, right? So which is why one thing which is extremely important when you're doing a pitch, especially for crowdfunding, is you always use first person. Do not distance yourself from the organization. So that is very important. So the second thing is about the credibility of the organization, which is what most people will want to know, right? Because in India, whether we admit it or not, there are a lot of nonprofits which don't really do work which is credible. So that is the second thing that you need to address. So people won't really listen to you beyond the first 7 to 8 seconds. That is the attention span, especially when you're pitching for a crowdfunding campaign. So this is where you need to optimize your your pitch such that the first 7 to 8 seconds in itself is catchy for your donor. So the second part is about credibility, which I think you completely left out. How is it that Asha Infinite Foundation is something that is credible? So you need to speak about, hey, we have 8 years of history. These are some of the projects which we've already executed, and I'm sure there'll be some recognitions. And the team in itself, right? The trustees that I look at, they're all people who are very well established, who very well established themselves in their own careers or their own life, right? So speak about, why the organization in itself is credible. After this, you need to end it with a call to action, which is where you need to sort of think about what exactly are you expecting from a donor, right? So there are different ways in which you can ask them to donate. But given that you have a very short timeline, you probably have only 3 weeks to raise about 2 lakh rupees, which is a pretty good target. You need to look at how you can maximize the amount of donations you receive from each and every donor, right? So that is the second aspect. First aspect was about, how you pitch. Second one was about how you build credibility for the organization. The third part of this was, how do you showcase transparency, which is where you clearly explain where the funds are going. And fourth, and the final stage of your pitch should be, what is your call to action? So your call to action should be such that people actually would want to donate a lot more, right? If people donate like just $100 or $500, you would have to reach out to a lot of people, right? Like if people keep donating $500, you would have to reach out to 400 people to actually reach your target of 2 lakhs. And you have a pretty small, I'm not saying it's not impossible, and given that not every person you reach out to will donate, you'll probably have to reach out to like a couple of thousand people, which in a span of 3 weeks is not possible. So you need to look at how you can maximize the amount of money which each person donates. So how you do that is clearly slotting out your donations, right? At the end, after your pitch, you say, so there are different options that we have for you to donate. If you can donate 5,000 rupees, this is how it will help out. So you clearly explain to them where exactly the money is going to go and how much they can donate. So that way they'll be more likely to donate higher amounts of money. Having a clear ask, call to action. So if you can donate 2,500, this is how it will help. 5,000, this is how it will help. 10,000, this is how it will help. 20,000, this is how it will help. Right? So that is the first part of it. And second part is, from what I understand, I don't know much about the web-based platform that you're trying to build, but from what I understand, I feel like it's going to have a lot of recurring expenses, right? You'd probably have expenses which keep coming up every month. So if you can map that to recurring donors, when you pitch, instead of telling them, sir, can you donate 2,500 rupees? You tell them, sir, if you can sign up to donate 500 rupees every month, this is how it is going to help the organization. So that for you at the end of a year will be about 6,000 rupees, which is a significant amount of money. So that is how you can maximize the money you get from each donor. So that's the first aspect. Any questions?
No, so when you're talking about crowdfunding, Meetup and all, there is no one-to-one interaction that happens, isn't it? It's like, it's not a phone call, it's just there on the website, isn't it?
You will be reaching out to people either through LinkedIn or through your own college network, and then you'll be sharing the Meetup link that's what I had in mind.
Okay. No, I'm not aware. Sorry. I'm not done my homework.
I know. Unless you're looking at sponsored campaigns on Meetup, if we have a budget for sponsored campaigns, I think I can sort of delve into that a little more. But
what is a sponsor campaign?
So you can actually put in some money into Meetup, through which Meetup will promote your campaign on either Instagram or Facebook or something, and then you can get in donations.
Okay.
That is about the pitch, assuming that this is something you're actually going to be speaking. Now,
One sec, I think, Akash, the social media group, you are very quiet. What maybe the same question that Akash asked Sai earlier. What have you done so far? Because I think you've done already something. And so how are you going to go about your task? Somebody answer that. I mean, can somebody share with us what the 19
Yes,
of
sir.
you are doing? Yeah.
So we're 20 people and we're divided into 4 groups, each containing 5 people. And we were divided into groups for Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So each group post on their respective platforms. And we do this on a regular basis from Monday to Friday. And we make videos sometimes or posts, and that's how we're going about it until now.
fair enough. I think that's very much important, having a good social media profile, which it adds credibility. You can send that across to your donors. One other thing that you can also focus on is using these platforms to reach out to more people, right? I'll quickly first wrap up what I was saying with the crowdfunding campaign. So I think for crowdfunding, one thing that you can do is, I mean, there are 2 primary sources from which you can raise funds. One is you can probably tap into your own personal network. You probably know people who would be willing to donate, your own friends, your family, or anyone else who might be willing to donate. So that is where probably your phone calls and all of that will be more useful. The second part of this is reaching out to your own alumni network, is where the social media team's responsibility would probably be a little more, a little more prominent. So wait, before we get into social media, any questions about how to pitch from the crowdfunding team?
Yeah. So I was just having a casual conversation with my family, and most of them work in some company or the other. So I was like asking them how many of them will be like willing to sponsor us from their company itself. Like my mom works in a company, and like if your company will be willing to sponsor Asha or like donate to Asha. The thing is, I don't know how would you get around the fact that all of them have each company has their own CSR group and all that, right? Like most companies have their own 2% mandate and they do a little more than that and all that. So they might not be willing to donate to a third party, NGO. Why donate to a third party? So how do I explain that to them? Or how do you do it?
With regard to CSR, probably Srinivasan sir had some ideas and he has a different speaker. So I don't want to delve into that right now, because for today, he told me my mandate was clearly only to stick to crowdfunding. So I will restrict myself to that. But Srinivasan sir could probably take that question with you one-on-one after this meeting.
Yeah. Thanks. Yes, I think, yeah, we'll just like we had Akash today, we are planning to have another speaker next week who will probably talk to us about how you go about getting from CSR.
So this is primarily whatever I explained to you about crowdfunding. This is applicable for your alumni. It's applicable for your own personal network. You can kind of reach out to them over WhatsApp, phone calls, whatever. So rather than, if you feel like there's somebody who might donate, like you probably have an aunt or uncle who's very charitable, rather than sending them a WhatsApp message, if you can call them up and speak to them personally, they would be willing to donate a lot more from within your personal network. And obviously, rest of it, I think you guys have it covered: Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. The second part of this is the alumni outreach. So usually, at least from my experience, BITS has a pretty good alumni network. Sir is sitting here, he's about 40, 50 years. We passed out about 50 years before I joined, and yet we have a good alumni connect. So I'm sure JGU also will have a lot of people who are right now, who graduated a while ago, and they're probably high net worth individuals. So they're probably into philanthropy, or they're just people who are well established, right? So targeting these people also is another good source of funding for you. So you can use various channels. You can use Instagram, Facebook, but LinkedIn is usually something that's been very effective for us. So at least the social media team and the crowdfunding team, do you all have credible LinkedIn profiles?
Do you have a LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, we do have LinkedIn.
How many of you do? I guess that's what show. Can you just go into the chat box and put down yes, no? 3 yeses so far, 5 yeses. Keep going.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. So I think you'll get your answer.
So I think majority of you are on LinkedIn and you're familiar with how to use the platform, right? So the next thing you do is probably you go to your own alumni network and you run an integrated search with your school name and your and words like philanthropy, nonprofit, volunteering, etc. So you will be able to zero in on people who've all been in some way associated with nonprofits. So these are the people who probably form your primary targets, right, on LinkedIn. So reach out to them. But don't just send them a regular message like, hey, this is, you know, the usual spam messages which are sent on college WhatsApp groups. Those are annoying for all of us. So personalize the message, you know, tell them hello. You know, like if I was reaching out to Srinivasan sir, I'd probably be like, hello, Srinivasan sir. I'm Akash from BITS Pilani. I'm a current student. I just noticed that you are an alumnus. Start with a personalized note and then say, a bunch of us students were organizing a fundraiser. After that, just put it informally and ask them for it. Don't just say donate. Ask them whether you can get on a Google Meet call or you can speak to them. Usually when you speak face to face, there's a lot more emphasis and you'd be able to get a lot more money. And very honestly, your target of 2 lakhs is very easily achievable. It's not a big target at all, because all you need to do, especially if you're okay with recurring donations, is probably convince like 20 people to sign up to donate 1,000 rupees a month or something. You have like 2.4 lakhs or something, which is a lot more than what you're actually trying to do. So all you probably need to do through your internship is to figure out how you can get some of these people, your alumni, your own network, even if each of you convince like 2 people to sign up for 1,000 rupees a month, which is very, very easily possible. You have your target, and a bunch of you students within a span of 3 weeks raising like a couple of lakh rupees is very good. It's a good point for you'll learn a lot, and it's obviously going to be a good point for your resume as well. So I think overall, your 2 lakhs fundraiser is very much achievable. Look for how you can, reach out to more people. If you have any other questions, I think I'll take that.
Akash, will you be open if there are questions that I can collect and then shoot it to you? Maybe you can respond by email.
Sure.
Or, yeah. So, and if questions, this internship, they're working on it right now. So if you can get back with a response, that would be most helpful. Okay.
Sure. And I'll drop my LinkedIn profile here for you. If any of you want to reach out to me, speak about either anything related to crowdfunding, or if you want to connect with me otherwise as well, you're more than welcome to.
Students who don't have questions generally are students who are clueless, according to my understanding. So I think all our interns are yet to put in some kind of efforts and research and all that. They're in the initial stage of the internship. So you don't have many questions that they're asking.
Given Akash's time commitment for the next, for the next meeting. So thank you very much, Akash. I think I can share on behalf of all the other interns to say that it's been really helpful to learn from your experience, and your specific suggestions or recommendations, I think, are very valuable. Even for me personally, in terms of, this concept of recurring donations and certain sites giving it, that the elevator pitch. In fact, I was going to talk about it in our next term for the interns. So we're facing this whole program so they can go step by step, get information, then, write the story, etc. But thank you very much. I know you need to go. And as I said, we'll probably have some, I'm sure the interns will have questions and we will shoot it to you. And you can also expect people to connect on your LinkedIn profile. You'll probably get a lot of invites or requests to connect. Thank you again. With that, I think we'll let Akash go, and others, if you want to stay on and have questions, you're welcome to ask. But yeah, or if you're done, you can drop off.
Thank you very much. It was lovely speaking to all of you. Have best of luck for the rest of your internship. And sir, thank you for inviting me. Both of you, ma'am and sir, thank you for inviting me. And if there's anything else I can help out with, do let me know. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Akash. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. I'll be in touch with you. I'm sure there's so much more to learn from you. And you're doing an excellent job. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So can the three of us stay back to talk to you?
Yeah. No, you guys stay on. That's why I'm keeping it open. So those who want to, so Harshita Ramkumar. So yeah, if some of the individual, I see Anushka is still on. If you want to stay on, that'll be great. Good. So go ahead. What questions do you have?
And a lot of everything else that we want to cover was actually spoken by Akash in the meeting today.
Very good. Okay, so anything more? This was all you want? Right.
That's it for now, sir. We just wanted to make like the specifics to start like the fundraiser, like collecting details, and then so we can start planning the event also, like calling people, getting trying to get as many people.
Yes. Okay. I'll try to get you this information if you want to start putting, on the Millap or the Kit or any or the second site. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good weekend.
Bye bye.